Learn a little something about databases. We are in week 14, which means do the week 14 discussion, do all your assignments for week 14. How's JavaScript going for people? Good, good. Glad to hear it. Glad. There's a easy, a little bit challenging, but not too bad. Just do the next module in JavaScript, whatever it is, in case they've changed it. You've got the extra credit. If you haven't done that, make sure you do those. They're easy, particularly the Excel. Now you know Excel. Week 14, this is week 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're in the first week of PowerPoint. And for the exams, I think we're all done with the quizzes in here. So chapter quizzes are all finished through 13. And Office lab test, you should do the Access lab test. And final? Not yet. But that's sort of what's on the docket for this week, what you should be doing. This week we're going to talk about databases. And so databases really allow us to access data. Databases are where we store data. So databases are at the heart of what runs Facebook. So, right, anytime you enter some information or make a post on Facebook, that's getting stored somewhere. The place it gets stored is a database. Or, any website really, right? Storing information. They store it in a database. And databases can be a little bit, they're an area of specialty in computer science, just like anything. So knowing how to build a database to hold all the Facebook stuff or hold all the Twitter stuff, that could be a little bit involved, a little bit complex. But just a simple database, not too bad. So there's 2 types of databases. There's relational databases, 2 main types. Okay, relational databases, and then there's NoSQL schemaless databases. And so some examples of relational databases would be like MySQL. If I could type. MySQL or SQL Server by Microsoft or Oracle by Oracle. Right? Those are some examples of 3 huge relational databases. And some non-relational schemaless databases, NoSQL databases, would be like MongoDB or CouchDB or a lot of them. Just looking to see if there's a name. I feel like I'm forgetting some big one. Big Table, Firebase, NoSQL databases. So a relational database, we've seen this before, yes? So that's a relational database. It's made up of tables. And the tables are all related to each other with some key field. So we could tell that, customer 5 mini was in rental transaction 1, and customer ID 5 rented movie ID 2, and movie ID 2 is American Beauty. And so we're relating data in different tables. And so we have the data hierarchy, which I think we've already talked about a little bit. None of those are what I want to show. I don't know if I have that in my notes. Somewhere maybe. But a database is made up of, let's see. Made up of tables. Tables are made up of records. Records are made up of fields. And fields are made up of characters. So that's the broadest view to the most narrow view. And so you can see that here. Database is made up of tables. We have 3 tables there. Each table is made up of records. So here's a record, here's a record, here's a record. Each record is made up of fields, field, 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 customer ID field, member ID field, movie ID field. So rental ID field, customer ID field, movie ID field. And each field is made up of characters, 0, 4. So that's the data hierarchy. There's a cool YouTube video which you can watch on your own time called YouTube NYPD RTCC. So the New York Police Department Real-Time Crime Center using databases to fight crime. So check that out. There's obviously some really interesting databases out there. So one of them which I find interesting is just crime statistics. Looking at crime statistics for an area. I don't know which is the best one to look at. Let's see. Warning. You're going to charge me? This one looked pretty good so far. So you can see just like burglary, theft, shooting right there, crazy, right? So where's Fresno City College? There's Ashland. Oh yeah, this isn't a good neighborhood. Fresno City College. Says right over by Fresno High.
By the shooting.
Huh?
Right there by the shooting.
You live right there?
No, Fresno City College right there.
Oh yeah, right there by the shooting. No, this is a bad neighborhood. There's a lot of crap that goes down right here.
I live higher where there's not much stuff.
I used to live here, right there, but I moved. Well, that's right? Like that's why I went north. A lot less, right? I live out in this area now.
I'm surprised there's not as many drug and disorderly contacts towards Millerton.
Towards what?
Towards Millerton.
Oh, really?
That's where a lot of high schoolers go to get wasted.
That's unfortunate because then they drive drunk. But, you know, that's all data. And data helps you make decisions. Millerton.
Yeah, nothing.
Refresh map. Please subscribe. Close. Close. Whatever. So I find that interesting. Crime statistics. All comes from a database. Lots of uses of data. Some of the terms to know: the primary key in relational databases. This is the primary key. Maybe you learned that already, right? It's the key which uniquely identifies a record. Your social security number is the primary key which uniquely identifies you as an American citizen. Nobody else has that social security number. Queries let you ask questions in the database. So you do a query, which is another word. It's how you ask a question in England, right? Query. I have a query. You get in a queue to ask your query. Queue's a line. If you need to use the restroom, it's called a loo. Is there a loo around? Nope, just me and Rick. My name's Todd, no loo. Run reports from the databases. Data integrity is making sure that the data you've stored has integrity. So you could, rely upon it. It's factual. It's complete. It's not inaccurate. Validating data before you store it means you check to make sure that if somebody's entering their email address, it's actually an email address. You send them an email and say, click this to verify it. It's validating data. If you have a database, you want to keep it secure. Keep the data secure. Databases are a big implication of privacy because in the old days we had filing cabinets. Good luck making information out of all that data in a filing cabinet. Like, show me all the customers for this dental office who haven't been here in 6 months and live north of Herndon. You're going to have to go through and look at every record if it's a filing cabinet, right? Database is like, here are those customers. And so we could collect all kinds of data about people. I'm sure you've noticed you search for red shoes, and then you're surfing the web an hour later, and all these ads for red shoes show up. They're storing data about you somewhere, right? Trying to get you to buy red shoes because that makes money. You guys want to see a little bit of it in action? Like what code looks like for databases? Storing data? Yeah? No. Raise your hand, yes? Raise your hand, no. One hand went up for yes. Glad you find it humorous. Is it like the deadpan approach that I have, or what? I'll show you this one. What else do I have here? Guess I'll do this one. This is what you'll be able to learn if you take my class in the fall. And then people be like, how did you get so awesome with computers? And you could say, Todd McLeod. How did Todd McLeod get so awesome with computers? Lots of videos late at night. So, choose a file. I have this area over here. This is a Google Cloud Storage, which is a big database. Nothing's there, right? So that's a database running on Google servers. I'm going to choose a file. And then there I want to upload. Start out with that. Submit. So I've now uploaded that file. It's really small on this screen. And if I look here, the file's there. I can look at it. Love, exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. You guys know this song? Nobody? It's the theme song to The Love Boat. A different generation than you. So to get that to happen, if somebody has posted a file, uploaded a file, then I get that file. It's coming through from a form. It's a multi-part file. And then I upload that file. And to upload that file, I'm going to first filter the file. And I'm going to say, hey, get the file name, and then pull out the extension. And if the extension is JPEG, JPEG, text, or MD, then return that extension. Otherwise, return an error saying, no, we don't let that. We only allow JPEG, right? So I get the file, I filter the file, make sure that's cool. I get my extension. I create a new file name based upon that file. I just create some unique name, unique to that file. If anybody ever uploaded that same file, it'd be the same name. It's called doing a hash. So I run a hash algorithm, SHA-1 algorithm. And then I put the file. And so to put the file for Google Cloud Storage, I get a new client. They have to know who I am. So I am now a client. And to get a client, I have to pass in this opaque variable called context, which is part of this application, so they know basically who I am. And then I get a bucket, which is like where you store it. It's a hard drive with a name up in Google Cloud. And then I name my object, and I say, hey, I'm going to store this object, and then I want a new writer, because I'm going to write to that object. And then I copy that file to this writer, and it copies my file up to Google Cloud. So that might look kind of foreign, and it might be like, whatever, dude, that was like Greek. Of course it is. And until you learn, somebody teaches you how to speak Greek, Greek looks Greek. And you're like, I don't know what that means, that's Greek. But after somebody's taught you how to speak Greek, you're like, Uzo! Let's break plates! I love Greece. And eat hummus? I don't know. And Ylanji? It's more Lebanese, maybe. But not that difficult. And it's all written for you, and you just kind of put the little pieces together, and you can store files. Create a little web app that stores files, and it gives people access to them. Or you could create the next Facebook or next Airbnb. Unbelievable. You can display images. That's 0602. I don't know what this one does, but it says it displays images, so let's see. I have to clear my cookies. La 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 la. Retrieving objects. That's it. I guess I have to upload a picture first. I don't know how many pictures. Oh well. But you get the idea. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's pretty neat. It's nice to have some specific piece of knowledge and a skill that pretty much nobody else can do. And it's like, I could do that. We need somebody who could do that. I could do that. We need somebody who could place an explosive device at the bottom of the volcano. I've been trained in that. I could do it. Dun 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 dun. You want to see how to make Tinder? Snapchat. Which one? Which one's one that goes away? Snapchat. You want to see how to make Snapchat? I think maybe this one. Well, I don't know where I put it. Oh, self-destructing message. That's pretty self-explanatory. So / and / message, see my message. So I can enter a message if you should decide to accept this message. Hey, here's a picture of me I wouldn't want you to keep. So here's your self-destructing message. Hey, if you should decide to accept this message, hey, here's a picture of me I wouldn't want you to keep. Last 10 seconds. We can set that timer for anything we want. If I hit refresh, gone. Yeah.
Nowadays, we talk about, when I think about database, I also think about the big data nowadays. Everything's big data. So, my thinking that just there's tons of database. They just analyze and they filter data from database, but can be from somewhere else. From database, yeah?
Yeah, it's just all stored data, big database, small database. And then how do you analyze a whole bunch of records? You know, because it's crazy. There's cajillions of transactions, pieces of information. How do you make sense of it? How do you figure out certain patterns? Okay, I'm going to go home. I'm going to take a roll, and then that's it, because I'm sick.
I need help with items.
Okay, I can help you if you need some help, but it's at your own peril, because I'm sick.